Walking with grace as a foundation for our evolutionary journey, our evolutionary healing journey, means that we actively balance the light and the dark frequencies within us and within our lives. The light and the dark create a whole. They are not meant to be separated. They're meant to live harmoniously and be working harmoniously within ourselves. So a paradigm of suffering is one where the light and the dark become polarized. And for most of us, we have learned to evolve this way. We have learned to polarize light and dark from one another. And so there is a process of unlearning this. When we bypass the dark and are only in our light, what happens is that we stop ourselves from evolving altogether, because we evolve through our shadows, through inviting our shadows into our consciousness, and we need our darkness. We need to go down and in order to do that, not just go up. The light brings us up. And so if we're only in the light, we're in la la land, basically. Now, if we are only in the dark, that means that we are evolving only by rehashing, repeating our wounding patterns and traumas through external experiences. And that is a highly suffering way to live. But what's interesting is that when we are only in our light and we're bypassing our dark, the same thing ends up happening, because we end up projecting our darkness onto other people. The thing is that this separation is an illusion. The light and the dark within us are drawn to each other. They want to come together, and so they will find a way to come together no matter what. And if we do not bring these energies together within us consciously, it will happen unconsciously. And we'll learn our lessons in very triggering, difficult, and suffering ways. So here's an example of each. So say that you are planning on going to an event, any kind of event, social, professional, something, right, with other people. And leading up to this event, you start to feel really triggered, heavy. You start to feel a sense in your gut like something isn't right. Maybe you start to feel really anxious. Maybe you have a panic attack. Maybe you start to feel really depressed and can't get out of bed. And then you say, you know what? It's probably nothing. It's just nerves. And you bypass that message that your body's telling you and you go anyway. You go to the event. And what ends up happening is that you have some kind of interaction there that is so triggering for you, it takes you over. You go back into one of your core wounds and you end up leaving not integrated, just highly triggered, split within yourself, not able to make sense of it, just very, very upset and in pain. And it's only after the experience that you realize that you had just repeated an old pattern. Your body was telling you not to go so that you wouldn't repeat that. And you learned your lesson. You learned your lesson, right? You learned that that is not a pattern you want to keep repeating, but you learned it a very difficult and painful way. Okay, so that's the first example. A second example would be that you have awareness of this core wound, this pattern, and it has been starting to arise within your body and within your mind. You're noticing based on the thoughts you're starting to have, the emotions that are coming up. And so you decide to take action to heal this wound by joining a healing container, a ceremonial container, sacred space. And you go into this ceremony and you are held by many conscious, trained facilitators and guides that bring you deeply into yourself, and you hold the intention to heal this wound, hold a very specific intention, and this wound the foundations and origins of it arise within you, and you re-experience that original trauma and wound as if it was happening viscerally within your body. You feel it all. It's painful, but you are held in a compassionate, loving group of people who are helping you stay anchored in your body in the present moment. They're loving on you and helping you move that energy through your body. You come out of the experience and you're able to share openly about what happened with a compassionate, loving group of people who listen and witness you. So you're able to process it through your mind and your consciousness. And you end up leaving that situation feeling healed, feeling that you now can leave that pattern behind. You've learned its lesson. You understand why it's been arising within you. And your heart is now expanded through that experience. You have more love and compassion for yourself. You feel gratitude for what has happened. And you then have that love and compassion to pay forward. Okay, so that second experience is healing through grace. Yes, there was darkness there, but there was so much light also. I think that it is very important for us each to take a vow to evolve through grace instead of suffering, because intentions direct our energy moving forward and direct it towards those situations that will invite in healing through grace rather than through suffering. It will help align our paths to meet those people and to meet those situations where we get to heal through grace. This doesn't mean that we won't continue to sometimes have situations arise where we evolve through suffering. It doesn't, because this is a process. It is a learning journey. And when, however, if we have awareness that we are here to evolve through grace rather than suffering, and we're ready to continue to make those shifts into grace, then when those situations emerge where we are noticing the old paradigm of suffering is present for us, we get to press the pause button, go back to our bodies, our souls, and spirit, and we get to say, show me a new way. Show me a new way to learn this lesson through grace. I guarantee you, if you do that, new paths will open for you. You just simply have to open your eyes and your consciousness to see it and to trust. Trust the benevolence of spirit and your soul to provide a different way. Thank you for watching.